Welcome to another episode of Pages and Potions podcast, where we dive deep into delicious drinks and give you our hot takes, craziest theories, and fun reviews of some of our favorite books. We are your hosts, Devon and Courtney, and thank you for joining us on what we hope is your escape from the 9 to 5 and a happy hour. Before we dive in, we thought it was super important to remind you that this is a not safe for work podcast, like at all. We talk about explicit books using explicit language, so if it's not your cup of tea or you have little people around you right now, this might not be for you. This is also your one warning that this podcast will contain spoilers. If that's not for you either, now is your chance to bail and catch us once you've read the book. Okay? If you're still here, let's get into it. For this week's episode, we've chosen Quicksilver by Callie Hart. Coming onto the book talk scene a little over a year ago, this Fae and Alchemy series took the romantasy world by storm. There was a time when every time we'd open social media, someone was talking about this book. And the biggest takeaway we gathered is that some dude named Kingfisher is supposedly dethroning the likes of Rhysand and Xaden Ryerson as best book BF ever. Like, WTF?
Alert, no.
The audacity. The audacity. So we finally thought we'd find out for ourselves and dive into the world of Avelia. Before we do that, let us dive into the libations of our cocktail of choice. Tonight we've chosen something to match the overall dark and mysterious vibes of the book with a blackberry cocktail that we call the Alchemist. This beautiful, gorgeous thing. It looks like, for those of you not watching our YouTube but listening, it's like a super pretty blush kind of color. There's blackberry in it. There's gin. So we take 2 ounces of gin, an ounce of lemon juice, an ounce of simple syrup, muddle that all up with blackberries and fresh basil, and then we pour that into a fresh glass with ice, and we top that with blackberry bubbly or blackberry soda water. And if you wanted to make this a mocktail, you could absolutely just skip the gin, just add a little bit more soda water, and have a sip of your choice. And if you don't like it, then just you do like and join us. Cheers, folks. First impression, here we go.
Wait. Before you say cheers, I gotta tell you something.
Oh, God.
So we decided on this drink, and I was really stoked about it. And then I went to make it, and I realized, oh, right, I don't have a muddler. So I want to show you what I muddled with.
Oh, God, okay.
I muddled with the end of a giant spatula.
Yeah, it's like
again, for those of you that are listening and cannot see this, it is like a giant long
it's a cake spatula, basically. It's like 8 inches long.
End. So
honestly, respect. You made it work for you. If you don't have a muddler, people. Well, on that note, cheers. Ooh.
Okay. You know, I wasn't sure that it was going to be like how it was going to be with the blackberry bubbly with like the actual muddled blackberries, because you know when you sometimes mix real and fake flavors, it's not so great. But this is really good.
Oh, that is so good. Ooh. Okay, I'm just gonna keep having another sip, guys. It's so good.
Seriously. Here we go, moaning into the camera again.
Sorry, I can't help myself.
But the basil really works, hey?
That makes it really fresh. Because originally I was like, well, I said like thyme or rosemary, I think. And then I was like, I don't know if that's too savory. You know, some herbs are just like too. I don't want to feel like I'm eating a Thanksgiving dinner while I'm drinking a cocktail, unless it's like cranberry. But that's really good. It's really, really good.
Yeah.
I feel like that's. I want like 10 more of those, please. Perfect for happy hour.
I mean, 2 ounces of gin. I'll get you there.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, should we get into it?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. So let's talk about Quicksilver. So first, as always, a quick recap. Reminder, this is full of spoilers. We are going to talk about the book in its entirety. So this is your second warning. If you haven't read the book or you don't want spoilers, stop now. Come back when you've read it. So our girl, Saeris, she lives in a place where it's really hot. It's got 2 suns, like desert. And water is really hard to come by. So obviously she's a thief. Girl's got to eat and drink, obviously, to stay alive. She ends up stealing a guard's glove, like one of these, the queen's guards. Ends up stealing a glove. and through a series of unfortunate events gets caught. And while she's in prison, literally fighting for her damn life, she finds a sword stuck in a frozen pool of silver. King Arthur's that bitch, pulling it out, and it's been stuck there for like hundreds of years. Emo lover boy then comes through the pool because it liquefies after she King Arthur's that bitch. He sees her guts all over the place, takes her back through the pool, which we later learn are like portals, so he can get her all healed up. So, but wait, there's more. So she wakes up in a new place with a whole bunch of strangers around and is surprisingly chill with all of it. We can talk about that later, but like surprisingly chill. Especially since they're all Fae. She didn't even know Fae existed until now. So despite emo lover boy Kingfisher being a complete and total dick, she's totally drawn to him. They figure out she's something called an alchemist, someone that can work metal. So her whole job becomes trying to imbue regular weapons with this quicksilver, yeah, the stuff from the pool, to give them magical properties. And then vampires show up. So eventually she figures out how to talk to the quicksilver. I'm not even kidding. And talks it into meshing with the weapons to make these intense magical weapons. Turns out, though, that the vampires and this fucking Malcolm dude, like the king of the vampires, have stolen her new friend, Everlane, who's also Emo Loverboy's sister, and have enthralled her to do Malcolm's bidding. This guy's a total dick. So obviously, Kingfisher takes Saeris to his childhood home, bangs the shit out of her before they go save Everlane, as you do, and then motherfucker dips while she's still asleep to do it all on his own. Typical. So Saris and a bunch of her friends now realize that Kingfisher will send Everlane through a portal, like a Shadowgate type situation. So once it opens, they'll all jump through and go save Kingfisher. So he's not on his own. So they succeed with this plan. They end up with the vampires, realizing that the queen of Saris's original home realm, fucking Malcolm, and then this evil Fae king dude are all siblings. Convenient. They hurl our heroes into a labyrinth of fun where they either need to get to a quicksilver pool in the middle or find a damn coin that has been the whole problem all along. Our emo boyfriend made a bad deal back in the day predicated on a coin flip and the coin hitting the ground. And that douche nozzle Malcolm grabbed it before it could hit the ground. So they need to find the damn coin, let it hit the ground so everything can be done with. Okay? You following? So Saris finds the coin in the mouth of evil Spider-Man, drops it. Malcolm's a douche about it, as he is, so she cuts off his head. She's a fucking badass. So she almost dies, meets the god of chaos. What? And then comes back as half Fae, half vampire, and thanks to Malcolm's second in command, who thankfully isn't a douche, actually a good guy all along, and now she's the queen of the vampires? I didn't even mention this whole secondary subplot with Carrion and like the whole thing. So Callie Hart, this is a great book. There's a lot going on here, and I am so ready for book 2 to help pull it all together.
Okay. That was perfection. Brilliant. Loved it. For those of you that probably that are listening, you can probably guess that Courtney wrote that herself, and I'm so proud. And I love that because she writes her synopsis, and they freaking slay me. They kill me every time. They're so good. Yeah, there's a lot that's happening. There's a lot
Yeah,
that happens in this
yeah.
book. Like I just remember reading it. It took me a very long time to read it. I was just telling Courtney this before we started recording, is that I started reading it when I was going away for a while because I left the country for a couple weeks and then came back, and it took me so long to get into it, and then in like the last week I probably finished like 60 to 70% of it, but it was just like so much to absorb, and I kept like I don't normally make highlights in my Kindle, which is like, but you'd think I would do that all the time, but I was like, what is going on here? And I'm like highlighting this and highlighting that and highlighting this because I'm like, I want to remember all of this because I feel like book 2 is just going to be another whirlwind, but also just jam packed with information. Yeah.
Exactly. And I was so interested to see if Kingfisher would dethrone Rhysand and Xaden.
Yeah.
as like book boyfriend extraordinaire. And I just, you know, I call him emo lover boy for a reason. We'll talk about it a little bit later, but like he's
Yeah.
very like, oh, you
Where
know, the
are
whole time.
you? Yeah. It's very like emo 2000s of him for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was it was a really good read though. I do feel like in terms of romantasy, fantasy, it still had all of the elements that I really enjoy about those style of books. And I wasn't sitting there like totally lost, even though a lot was happening. Like I wasn't reading this being like, where the hell is this going? It still was like busy enough, and she breadcrumbed things enough that as I got through the book, I felt like I finished it and was like, oh, okay. I'm so curious where this is going. It left me feeling a little bit excited. Like, yeah, there was lots going on that I really liked about this book.
So
Um,
much. So much. And I really liked Saris as a character. Like
totally.
really, really liked her character. Other than the fact that she was strangely cool with everybody at the beginning of the book.
Yeah, you were.
Like she just wakes up and there's a little bit about it, like, oh, this I remember this voice. She was obviously talking to me while I was passed out, you know, all of that stuff. But it was like she was surprisingly cool.
Yeah.
Like very cool. And it bugged me throughout.
Well, and I think like she had a little bit of time by herself in the Fae realm as the only human there to kind of like, I guess, like acclimatize herself. In my mind, I guess I'd assumed, not assumed, but I'd thought that Carrion had been with her almost the whole time, but he wasn't. She was there like a good chunk of time without him. Because I was going to say
Yeah.
he seemed so chill about it. I mean, we find out afterwards why he
Right.
was so chill about it. But at the same time, I was like, oh, so maybe she just felt reassured. I think she, to be fair though, I think she was sus on a lot of things in her own world, like in Zelvarin, before she went to Avelia. Like, I think she was just like, something's not right. People are dying. The queen is human, but has supposedly lived forever. Like, there was some breadcrumbs there that were just like, I don't know if I believe that all the things I'm seeing are really the truth. I think though, like that's part of it is there were so many things happening at home that she didn't really believe were the truth before she, got taken. Like she basically was about to die, and the only reason that she lived is because he took her. And then it was like, of course, I think there's also that like when you get saved from a huge traumatic event, you're almost like in disbelief anyways because you thought you were gonna die. And then I was like, oh, I guess I'll just believe
Yeah.
anything. Like,
Yeah. And I guess like she's like, oh, these, you know, they're cool, like they're nice. They help me, you know, put my guts back in my body, you know?
you know, I don't know. I do understand what you're saying, though, that it's just like immediately she's like, yeah, we're cool, bruh. Sure.
Yeah.
Especially with like
She's like
Everlane,
really
who is,
inspirational.
yeah, yeah. I I'm so curious to see where Everlane's story goes after this as well.
Mhm.
I thought she was going to be a bit more of a key player, and then we just completely left her behind. And then she obviously like comes back at the end in a big bad way, being kidnapped and whatnot. Like she's the catalyst for the situation she ends up in at the end. But I don't know.
Mhm.
There's just, yeah, there's something else there too. And I guess if you had like some beautiful young woman just like convincing you like, hey, it's okay, we can be friends, and I'm gonna put you in these cute dresses, and like if she's never had a friend before, like we heard her life, she pretty much lived in secret. She tried to stay alive. She was a thief. Nobody knew she existed once her mom died. So, of course, the first woman, essentially, who like shows her any ounce of affection, she's gonna latch on and be like, "Oh, okay, we can be friends."
I that's true. I mean, female friendships are pretty powerful, right?
Mhm.
And it's we've got an intuition
Yeah,
about people, you know? So maybe that came into play a little bit,
yeah,
maybe? Yeah, you mentioned something there though that Everlane, like, she's like a key player right at the beginning, you know, to help Saris feel safe and all of that. But then yeah, it's like she disappears. And I did find myself questioning, like, where did she go? But then, yeah. towards the end she becomes a real key player and
Yeah.
all of that kind of stuff. But yeah, her presence is interesting, so I am interested to see what happens with her.
Mhm. I definitely think her and Renfis are like an item as well. Like there's something there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's something there for sure. For
Because they're
sure. Yeah.
because they're not related, and they've grown up together, and they had this shared bond of, they both lost Kingfisher when he was gone for all that time. So they've
Mhm.
bonded, and then when she gets bitten, like he is just like beside himself, and Kingfisher's just like, okay, the man with a plan. Let's make something happen, and
Yeah.
he's just like shell shocked that she's been bitten by a vampire. Spoiler. Yeah, I did. I don't
We
think
gave people two
we
warnings. If
did.
they're cool with spoilers now, it's their fault.
I don't think I was expecting vampires to be the plot at all. Like,
Me neither.
at all. I think when it was like, oh, this Malcolm, I was like, who the hell is Malcolm? I thought maybe it was going to be just like an evil Fae king of another realm. And then it's like, actually, I am the undead. I was like, what?
Yeah.
What in the
What?
Twilight?
What in the twilight? Just need some werewolves now. Round it out, you know?
Well, they have a fox. They have Onyx,
True.
who like
True.
also is like probably my favorite character. He's so
I
cute.
know. I would really enjoy a snuggle with an onyx.
Yeah. So cute.
Mhm.
For those who've read the book, you'll know that Onyx is like this really cute white winter fox that she had basically adopts as a pet, and everyone's like, that's food. You don't make pets. You don't make pets out of our food." And she's like, "You can't kill him," because she's literally never had an animal in her life either. But yeah, yeah. Okay,
Yeah, I'd keep a fox too.
yeah, he's adorable. Okay. Was the book top hype that we heard over and over and over again about Kingfisher and about this book valid?
I don't know. I think I would like to reserve judgment until after book 2. I feel like there was so much going on in this book, like so much, like to the point where, like, yeah, like during a synopsis, I completely missed the whole Carrion thing. Like, there's so much going on here. I feel like there needs to be some resolution before I can really make a good. And I'm more than willing to read book 2. Like, I
Mhm.
think book 2 is going to be great. And I think some ends are going to be tied up and all of that stuff. But I do not think Kingfisher is the ultimate book boyfriend.
No, fair.
I will die on that hill.
Fair. Very
Yeah.
fair. Um, yeah, I think for a lot of people who maybe didn't like Fourth Wing, which like get out of here, but for those people that didn't like that story, but they still like the romantasy and they like Fae, I definitely can see why this was like so hyped because it was probably one of the first Fae novels they've read since Aktar, since that world. And if you really like Fae, I do think it was well written, even though there was so much going on. Like you said to me the other day, it's a tome. I'm like, it is. Like this book is not. This is not. It's still a big book. Like it's 600 and some pages. It's not a super short read. So
Mhm.
yeah, I think for people that were just missing that kind of world, even though it's not from the SJM universe at all, it's just kind of maybe scratches that itch a little bit.
Mhm.
And I think it's an accessible read. Like it's not a hard read, even though it's long.
No, no, definitely, like definitely easy to read, like really good. And I love like I did love the glimpses we got of Kingfisher, like when they go to I forget the town's name now. But when they go to his like quote unquote hometown and his home and like you get this like real homey feel and she did such a good job of describing that, like when they're sitting at the dinner table and all of that, like you got this real like cozy like winter spice feeling.
Mhm. Yes, that Ballard was the name of the town that they
Mhm.
went to.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I would have killed or donated an organ for a Kingfisher POV in this book. I think
Mm.
that is why I don't feel like the hype about him as warranted as people have given him because Like I love a male POV. I always want to know what the guy is thinking in the situation. And there is a bonus chapter. I don't know if it's in the actual book. I read this on my Kindle, but there is a Kingfisher POV bonus chapter. So it was nice to actually, and it's from when he basically goes through the pool and takes Saeris back to the Winter Palace.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to hear his dialogue and hear his like or guess monologue of that situation. And I wish that that had been the case throughout the whole book because I love
Yeah.
a dual POV. And I'm hoping with that little bonus chapter that she is going to slip out of the single first person um, situation
Yeah.
and slip into a dual POV. But who knows? I mean, I do think that Saeris was still a decent narrator. I always think like, okay, rose-colored glasses because you're not seeing both sides, obviously. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, I think it's going to be really curious where she goes for book two. And I wanted to touch on the Carrion Swift um, storyline of it. So the whole time I'm thinking, I remember reading at the beginning of the book, I had literally highlighted it. Like I said, I don't normally highlight, but I was like, huh. Um, the part where it says like, oh, the Denetheus heir is still in Zilvarin. And I was like, the whole time for most of the, like probably until halfway through the book, where Carrion kind of accepts he gets taken to Ilvia or Velia, and he basically commits to like, okay, I'm here. And as soon as it was kind of like a he's chill and he's okay with this, and he's still his same cocksure self, I was like, something's off about this, and you know some things. And immediately
Yeah.
I remember thinking like, is he the heir? Because I thought it was Saeris. I thought maybe she was just like she just didn't know.
Yes. I remember that you texted me that. And I was like,
I thought maybe she just didn't know because her mom had died. She was taken in by Elroy, who is like the blacksmith, basically, working in the forge. Like, she didn't know her dad. Her brother was younger than her. Like, she just doesn't know. And I'm like, I wonder if she's the heir because she just doesn't know that maybe she's part Fae, even though she has rounded ears and she is very clearly human. But then we got to that point in the book where Fisher actually goes through the Quicksilver to bring back Saeris's brother as part of an oath that he takes with Saeris, like a bargain. And
yeah.
because Saeris and Carrion have had, sexy times, their scents are
Relation.
mingled, relations. Um, her scent is all over him. So he just assumed that because their blood would smell similar, that that was her brother. And he said to him, "Oh yeah, I'm Hayden. I'm Hayden Fane for sure. Take me." So obviously, imagine her surprise when she sees him come through the portal and it's Carrion fucking Swift.
Yeah.
It's not
Like,
Hayden. Like I thought he was a good lay, but like goddamn, I was trying to get rid of him. Um, Yeah, and then obviously, like there was a point where she was like, "How are you just so okay with everything?" And he's just like, "My grandmother had books," and I was like, "Okay, his grandmother had books." Like,
yeah.
mm,
Like, okay.
mm, you sus, boy. Yeah,
For sure.
but I'm so curious. So he's going to be essentially king of one of the realms, right? Like he's the heir,
Right.
so he's going to be a king. Is Kingfisher a
Right.
king?
Maybe.
Belican's still alive because they cut off his
Right.
head, but then he regenerated. And now Saeris is going to be Queen of Sanisroth. So there's
Right.
two of them. There's still Madra is still the Queen of Ivelia,
Yeah.
and then I think
Yeah.
Belican is still the King of. Oh, sorry, she's the Queen of
And
Zilvarin, and he's the King of
yeah.
Ivelia. Then there's Sanisroth, and then I can't remember what Carrion was, but I think there's four parts of the realm. So it's literally like two of them on one side and two of them on another.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah,
That's a good setup for a second book.
I know. We should read it. Oh my
Maybe.
god.
Maybe. It's coming out soon, right?
Yeah, it drops November 18th. So if you're listening to this on our release day, it's November 12th. So that gives you 6 days to listen to this, read the book, whichever you got to do in whatever order, and then get yourself book two. Because we will probably read it and probably record an episode about it because why not?
I would think so. Yeah, why
Why
not?
not? Why not? One thing I do really enjoy about this book is I do love their like Kingfisher and Saeris's relationship and how it does develop. We learn
Yes.
that they
Yeah.
are god fated mates, which is a new one. I've never read a book where they've been god fated. They've been fated, but it's like the gods have actually interfered and fated them, which is super, super
Yeah.
rare. Super rare. So essentially, obviously, if one of them dies, the other one goes as well. And it's
Mhm.
actually, I love that it was marked by tattoos. So as every time that they had relations, they would, she would get tattooed further and further on her body. And she was like, what is going on here? And then eventually she learns that actually they're God fated tattoos.
Yes.
Surprise.
Yes. And that's another thing that she's like strangely cool with. Like there's just this theme of like, oh, okay, like cool, like she questions it for sure, but like there's this just like, okay, cool.
I think you have to think about it as her whole mindset every single day since she's arrived in Avelia is one day at a time. We're just going to tackle today's problem. Like, especially because she's given the task to manipulate the Quicksilver and make relics so people can travel through the portals. And she's supposed to be tasked with making like 15,000 relics,
So many of them.
which is
Yeah.
so, of course, she's overwhelmed. So, her whole mantra is like, one day at a time. We're just going to do one day at a time. So, it's actually not surprising to me that she's so chill about all of this because she's of the mentality of like, one day at a time. We're just going to put out one fire one day at a time. Yeah, like
Yeah.
she's not she's not like losing her mind over the big picture.
And honestly though, like my perimenopausal ass would just be like, fuck, what now? Like, what
Hmm.
now? Like
Yeah,
tattoos, gonna fucking metal, like I would just I'd be so done with it. But I'm in a very different stage of life.
I don't think we actually learn how old Saris is, do we? She's got to be in her
No.
20s. I think
Yeah,
she's
I
in her
would think
20s.
so.
Hmm.
I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
remember. If
I don't.
anybody knows off the top of your head, put it in the comments.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's very clear that they're drawn to each other.
Mhm.
He calls her Osha, like little Osha, and I was like, what a weird name. And then he explains it's short for Oshelith, which is actually about a butterfly that lives and dies in the same day. And I was like, oh,
Yes.
because she's human. But then we learn later that it's actually because they're like super sacred and taken care of by the Fae. And it's a very beautiful story. And it actually, I think, the information we're given at the beginning of that of how it's like you live and die in one day, and then as the relationship develops and gets spicier and gets stronger, we learn at the end, like, actually, no, I'm worshiping you. I love you. You're sacred to me, basically. So I think learning the second half of that was super important at the end of learning how strong their relationship actually is together.
Totally, totally. I do really like their relationship. I think it's sweet. So speaking of sweet or spicy, what's your spice rating for the
So
book?
out of 5 tequila shots, I think I give it like a 3.5.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I get behind that. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's spicy enough. We're gonna include a little bit here in a second, but it's spicy enough
Mhm.
that it's not like too much that you're like, ooh, does this fit the vibe of the book? But it's also not so vanilla that you're like, okay, I'm a grown up. What is this? Like if you call it her juncture, I'm gonna lose my mind. Sorry. You know what I'm saying?
I do. I gotta figure out which author that was that said juncture. God.
For
So
context, Courtney read a book, and instead of using like any other word to call a lady's vagina, they called it her juncture.
any other word. Literally fucking any other word.
Yeah, center. Center's fine. You know,
Center, yeah.
that's fine. But as I said before, we are actually going to be introducing a new segment into our podcast called the Spicy 69. It's kind of not what you think, but it's our first time doing this, so we're going to see how this goes, where one of us will read out a piece or part of a spicy scene from the book that we really loved for the next minute or so to include it, because honestly, we're all grown-ups here, and who doesn't love a little spice in their life? The Spice Girls
Who
do,
doesn't?
so
I was thinking, we need like a theme song for this segment. Like, I don't know.
you just
Do 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 do.
no, that's a no. It needs to be like gross, like cheesy porno music, like
Okay.
or something. Like it needs to be like jazzy and like,
Yes. Okay.
or
Okay.
or
I'll
just like a blowhorn.
post.
No, no, no,
Yeah.
no.
Okay. Just read the fucking passage.
Okay, here we go. The dazed look on his face was dangerous. A girl could easily find herself addicted to the expression Fisher was wearing, and what then? I'd be lost forever. Fucking doomed. I let myself bask in his attention, aware that I was treading dangerous ground. But if Fisher was right about this, then so what? It would be one night, one time, and then he'd be done with me. I wasn't going to experience this again, so I might as well enjoy it. Such a pretty flower blooming just for me, he rumbled, climbing up onto the end of the bed. His hands closed around my ankles and I stopped breathing. He was going to. I screamed as he yanked me down the bed toward him. Another small yelp escaped me as he fell between my legs. His mouth found the crease of my inner thigh first. I shivered, nearly leaving my body altogether, and when I looked down and met his eyes, he ran the tip of his nose up, 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 inhaling deeply as he went. When he raised his head a little to speak, his canines weren't just on display. They were longer than I'd ever seen them. Sharper. His left canine had punctured his lower lip and had drawn blood. You smell so, so fucking good, he said thickly. Back in the forge at the palace, I caught a hint of this. I knew then I had to taste you. The smell has been haunting my fucking dreams. I haven't been able to think straight for remembering the scent of your need. I could probably use a shout, do not fucking dare finish that sentence, he snarled. I don't want a mouthful of soap and perfume. I want to taste you. With that, he placed his mouth right onto the very center of me as if he were biting into a piece of ripe, delicious fruit, and my whole world ignited. Ooh.
Oh, spicy.
It, that was tame. I could have read some of the other parts, but I was like, it's our first time. Let's not scare too many people. I'm pretty sure my mother listens to this, so like easing into
Oh,
this. But
okay, fair.
that
Fair.
was from the first time. So there's three spicy scenes in the entire book. That's from the very first one where she is obviously like, you know what? Fuck it. I may die tomorrow. Again, the whole day by day mindset. I may die tomorrow, so I'm gonna do this for myself and I'm gonna enjoy this because clearly we have a connection and it's gonna be spicy.
Yeah, yeah, it was good. Like it, those were very well written and not a juncture to be seen. So, Callie Hart,
Center.
thank you. Yeah, center. That's
It's
fine.
fine. I don't like mound. I don't know why, but when they write mound, I'm like, ugh.
Or folds.
Oh, I know.
No, like
I know. Not folds, juncture, mound. It's I guess to be fair, there's no real like sexy way. Like even when they to say it, I guess that even when they talk about like a guy's dick, it's like steel wrapped in velvet. And I'm like, I'm sorry, have you ever touched a dick before? Like, have you ever touched a dick before? Please. Because what?
never.
Like velvet is like fuzzy. It is not. It's like you know.
Fuzzy dick would be concerning.
It would be a little for real
You
though.
would
Like
be
the dialogue that some of these authors use. So I respect Callie Hart because I do think that I think she wrote cock. She wrote shaft. She wrote. I don't know if she said dick. I feel like that was too crude for her, but she definitely says cock a few times.
yeah.
I respect it. Cock is like it's sound. It's like strong. It is what it is. Shaft feels a little like porno-y, a little bit.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. But the
It's
whole
good.
iron velvet steel thing, I'm like, What are you doing? What are we doing here?
Iron Velvet Steel thing. Hey, baby.
Be so
Show
for
me your
real.
Iron Velvet.
That if you ever read a book, Courtney, that's how you're gonna describe it. For sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
for
Velvet
sure.
Steel.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I
So
yeah.
overall rating. What do you think? Rating. Would you recommend it? All of the
Yeah.
things.
I think I would, like for like story and spice and all the things that it hits for me, I'd give it like I think I'd give it a 4 out of 5.
Mhm.
But 5 for the vibes. I think the vibes were good. I think it was just like a good read. It was fun. It was easy to read even though it was long. It was good. And like I said, like the spice, all three scenes that happen, the first one is super like that was the one that I read there, that little clip was like the beginning of their first interaction together. And then the second one is a little bit more intimate, and the third one is like beautiful and romantic. So like their love story kind of carries throughout. But I didn't feel like the love story was the dominant story, which was kind of
No.
nice.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed, agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat, I think. Like a yeah, like a 3.5, 4. Um, and I think it could have been a little higher if something resolved or if there wasn't so much going on. And maybe that's just my brain where I'm like, what's happening? Maybe I needed a little bit less of that. But yeah, like overall, really great read. I enjoyed it.
Hmm.
I blew through it.
Hmm.
Like just yeah, blew through it. And yeah, really enjoyed the story, really enjoyed Saris's main character.
Hmm. Yeah,
Um,
she was a
so
great
yeah,
FMC. I do feel like in terms
yeah,
of resolution, though, like Malcolm dying was a great
yeah, that was
resolution.
good.
So it did feel like there was something like, okay, it's not just a whole bunch of loose ends. We're not, there are a lot, but at the same time, okay, we know that Carrion's the heir. That question mark is answered. Malcolm is dead. That question mark's answered. And then even still at the very end of the story for them to be like, and you're going to be crowned the queen, even though that's like a WTF moment, it's like oh, okay, so this is the path forward. So it wasn't like so open ended that you're like, what? But
Yeah.
I do have a thought. So the vampires can't be near silver, right? Like they burn if they're near silver, right? Because when Malcolm caught the coin, it burned his hand, right? And that's why, like,
Right.
so how are Saeris and Kingfisher supposed to continue their relationship when he has like Quicksilver in his body? Yeah,
That's a great question.
how are they
I don't
supposed to?
know.
They're fated mates, but how are they? Unless there's an exception, because it's
How
like
is she supposed to take his velvet wrapped steel thingy?
I know, I know, I don't know. But I don't know where that's going. And I know when they turn into vampires, it's either they can tolerate it's like they can tolerate sunlight. They still have like an affliction of silver, like they can't be around silver. But they
Mhm.
don't have the urge to feed or kill, or they
Yep.
bite and bite and bite and bite, and they are enthralled by their master. And she was bitten by
Right.
Malcolm, and Malcolm's dead, so like that part can't happen. So I'm wondering if because she's half Fae now, because she's half and half, because she has a
Right.
conversation with the god of chaos. What? Because that happened.
What?
If like now she's just like a completely different being, and she's not even really like anything they've ever
Mm,
seen before,
yeah, maybe.
which is why he was like, I'm going to trust you to make the right decision. Like the god of chaos basically is like, you have a choice. You can go on and you can choose to save Fisher's life and become who you're going to become, and it'll completely change the course of destiny, and there's no control over it, and it's going to be chaotic and blah, blah, blah. Or you can choose to die, essentially, and that will be another story. And
Be
she
done with
chooses,
it.
and she chooses to go back, but when she goes back, she becomes Fae. She's no longer human. She becomes
Mhm.
Fae, and she becomes vampire. So she's half and half, and I don't think there have ever been a half and half being like that before.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's so much to come in book two. Like I'm
Yeah,
really looking forward to it to read it and yeah,
yeah,
see what all happens. Cause like
yeah.
it really could go anywhere.
Yeah, is she going to be able to take his iron shaft velvet steel thingy? I don't know. I don't know, but we need to find out.
We do. We do. But it's only like 10 days away
I
or
know.
so at the
Something
time
like
of
that.
recording.
Yes.
Something beautiful.
No, I definitely would recommend for people to read it. Again, like, it is a big book. It's not, I don't think this is Kingfisher. He looks too pretty boy for me. He looks weird. And
Really, for real. Yeah.
not my cup of tea. But again, it's not too big of a book. Decent. You should read it.
Mhm.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Didn't feel like I
Yep.
wasted
I
my
agree.
time, so that's what I want out of a book. As long as I don't feel like I wasted my time reading it, you know?
Totally.
Yeah,
Totally. And drinks? Do we think this fits the vibe?
I think so.
Hmm. Hmm.
Like, it's
I like it.
tart.
It's
It's
surprising.
tart. Yeah, surprising tart. I like that the basil's in it, gives a little bit of like freshness. I was saying to Courtney when we were creating this, like, the basil's like the widow's bane that they chew so that they don't feel any pain before they go to wherever they're going to, Gillithry. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's delightful. I'm probably gonna make a second one after this
Like,
because
yeah,
I can.
totally.
Yeah, if you make
Hmm.
it,
Oh,
tag
and
us.
simple syrup.
What?
I'm gonna simple syrup.
Mmm. Just put some
Gotta go
sugar in
get
it
more.
or maple syrup. It'll
Yeah.
change it a little bit, but you know.
Well, maple syrup
Okay,
might be good in there,
it might be us typical
actually.
Canadians. Okay, do you have any like
Right?
major theories for the book, the next book?
I don't think so. Like I don't like I did read it a while ago, so I had
Mhm.
to like remind myself what the book was about. Because I have no memory. I think you're going to see power consolidate. I just don't know where. You know what I mean? Like is it a duology or is it meant to be a longer series? Do you
You know,
know?
I don't actually know. I don't actually
Okay.
know. I mean, we do have these handy dandy things called Google that I could absolutely look it up and
What?
see. Because hold please, trilogy. It's planned to be
Trilogy.
a
Okay.
trilogy, is what
Okay.
Google is
Okay.
telling me. So like,
Okay. So
I
there's
like it.
lots of room, space for lots of stuff to happen. So I really don't know. What about you?
I think we're gonna see more of the gods because we've only met one. We only met
Yeah.
the god of chaos, and there's like we're introduced at the beginning to like a bunch of them. Like it was another blurb that I highlighted, and it was like the gods of like many change, and two of the gods are basically the sons that are worshipped on her home plane, on her
The
home
sun.
realm.
Well, you met them, right?
We do meet them, but then there's still like a good handful of gods and goddesses or whoever that we don't
Yeah.
meet. And I'm curious if she's going to have a reckoning with them because of the fact that the god of chaos has
Mm.
just like been like, I'll deal with them, it's fine, you go.
Yeah.
You know? They both kind
Yeah.
of fucked with fate. So I'm curious to see. I think that's gonna be a major theme is fate and destiny,
Mhm. Yeah.
that kind of stuff. Um, and I think we're definitely gonna see some conflict probably between that like inner circle of people again, like Lorith and Fisher and Saeris and all them, especially if Saeris can't be around Quicksilver and she's an alchemist. So it'll
Mm-hmm.
be interesting to
Mm.
see for sure. Well,
Yeah.
folks, I think with that, that's all we've got for today's episode of Pages and Potions. It's been an
Mhm.
amazing ride. I hope we didn't make you blush too hard when we talked about that iron steel velvet thingy. Um, but if you're
Yeah.
curious,
Not the people that listen to this. Come on. No, no, no.
I know, who am I kidding? But leave a comment or tag us if you try our tempting elixir, or if you read the book and you just feel like you want to be heard or seen, tag us. Our Instagram or our TikTok is at Pages and Potions Podcast, so you can find us on social media wherever you are. Next episode, I'm actually so excited for. We'll be diving into book one of the Kindred's Curse series, which is Spark of the Everflame by Penn Cole. I'm so excited to talk to you about this book, Courtney, because I love this book. I have convinced several people to read it. I love the series, and I'm so excited for the
With it?
next book to come out. It is so good. You should read it before you listen to this episode so you don't get spoiled, because it is so good. So we can't wait to share it with
Mm.
you. And honestly, if you have any suggestions for cocktails or you just want to like drop us a line because we love to chat and we love to hear your thoughts. Just send us a DM. They're always open. We always love to hear from you guys. But until then, stay spicy and keep spilling the tea. Thanks for listening. Cheers.
Cheers.